Hello. So it is the start of a new chunk of our Avant calendar. So the next 5 days. Alrighty. So hopefully we can follow up that amazing smelling Quim album. But I mean, they're always amazing. So it's kind of hard to always follow up on that. But yeah, thank you so much for the support, everyone. It really means a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and this is something I'd like to do every year. Hopefully, setup and ideas might be a little bit better, but I like what I have here so far. And of course, checking out new albums is always a positive and always fun. Alright, so this is our day 16, and it's Hall of Mirrors. Or sorry, the band is Hall of Mirrors, and the album is Altered Nights. We got this one from a zine, and the zine really liked this. I think it was like I think they do dark ambient type stuff. I don't know much about them. I think if I remember correctly, that's what they do. So this one should be really interesting. Hopefully some noisy dark ambient, or hopefully just good dark ambient. Even though it's a noise list, I wouldn't mind some of that right now. But yeah. So I will see you for that review, and I will see you for the rest of the days. We're already going to be at day 17 tomorrow. I can't believe it. Alright, bye-bye. Hello everyone. Alright, here we go. It's time for our day 16 album. And that is the artist Hall of Amirus with the album Altered Nights. This album came out in 2012 on Malignant Records, and I've talked about them before. Like I said, they're definitely a really awesome label to check out. They put out all kinds of good stuff, and I think they're very approachable label. I feel like if you're someone who's just kind of new to maybe industrial or dark ambient or, you know, a bit like darker music, I guess, this would be a really good label to check out. And like I said, there's a lot of good, I don't want to use the term entry level because I feel like people feel like it's a negative term, but it's a very good entryway without things getting too crazy or too harsh, with a lot of really good stuff there. Maybe one day I'll make a video specifically on, you know, stuff to check out if you're just getting into the genres. I would probably definitely suggest a bunch of stuff off of Malignant Records. But anyway, so what do we have here? Like I said, this is the group Hall of Mirrors, which consists of two artists that would collab a lot with different artists. The artists in question are Andrea Marudi and, I cannot pronounce this name, I apologize, Giuseppe Verticchio. And they are two very, very talented dark ambient albums. So yes, this is a dark ambient album, which I love dark ambient. And it's pretty good. I feel like some of the tracks kind of sound the same, and they do meander a bit, which I guess is pretty normal for some dark ambient. There are some really good tracks, so a lot of interesting sounds. The second track, Invocation, it does sound a lot like an Invocation. The synth has this sound that almost makes it sound like some kind of like wailing sound that kind of later develops into like a more chanting sound throughout the track, which I find really interesting. That was a really like pleasant track to listen to. So this is a bit more on kind of the noisier side of dark ambient, where some tracks still have a good like layer of noise wall, but it's mixed in really good. Kind of like, you know, if you listen to shoegaze where the wall of noise is mixed in well, where it's not really abrasive, that's kind of like this, but with dark ambient. And the whole album has this like really kind of windy sound, like you're in some, I know I use this term a lot, but I feel like it's true. Like you're in some abandoned like house or you're urban exploring, and it's just like everything's kind of broken. You just have this wind coming through. It's really cool. The sound sounds like dusty and muddled, and there's a few tracks too that kind of sound like that have like wind chimes in the background. Almost sounds like a lot of chimey sound, which I found really interesting. And I do like that in dark ambient to use sounds like that. It definitely adds to the whole like atmosphere. Let's see. Magmatic Resonance is probably my favorite track. It sounds just like so abyssal. It makes me think of like, I don't know, like you're in an underground cave and you're just like drowning in like the lake in an underground cave. It's really dissonant. It has a lot of reverb near the end. Like So you have some like noise and reverb and just like that windy sound. I don't know. It very is like overwhelming, which I like with my dark ambient. And so in the final track, which is called Late Summer Ceremony, it's a 40-minute long track. And I'm kind of mixed on this track because at some points it's kind of just like kind of more the same like dark ambient with a little bit of like noise wall, but then there's some parts that kind of like change it up and make it like a more warm drone sound. It sounds really pretty and nice and unique, and I kind of wish it stayed a bit more in that, or maybe it went from like the super dark ambient kind of transformed into more of like the warm drone harsh ambient. I think that would be really cool. But for the bits that come in that are good, they're really good, and this whole album is pretty good. Nothing spectacular, but I am really picky with my dark ambient. So yeah, I don't know how much I'll return to this album, but because I've listened to quite a bit to try to glean as much as I can from it. It's a little bit of a slog for me to get through this album, or more like I put it on and I'm reading or doing stuff, or even when I'm paying attention to it walking, it doesn't really grip me super much like some other dark ambient does, but it's not bad. If you like dark ambient, or you're just getting into it for the first time, or maybe getting into more noise, I would suggest it. I would check it out. And I am curious, because I like a lot of the samples and textures this duo uses, Amirus, and I want to check out more by them. I think they're very talented, and I'm sure they have something really amazing in their discography. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Alrighty, so I will see you for the next album. So, today is day 17 of our Avant calendar, and yeah, I am getting real excited the lower we go. I'm also super excited to talk about our day 25 album. So like I said, I might know what that one is, and I think it's going to be something special. But for now, we have our day 17, and we'll check out what it is. Yes, excited. This has been such a fun project. I hope everyone's December has been as good as it could be during the current situations for everyone. And I hope everyone's just, trying their best to get through it and find whatever, calmness or comfiness they can. Alright, so this is an artist called Shredded Nerve, and the album is Trojan Self-Image. So yeah, I don't know anything about Shredded Nerve. Actually, I feel like I've heard this name before, within like the noise realm. I wonder if they've done like splits of other people or something, because I do feel like I've heard the name Shredded Nerve before. But yeah, Trojan Self-Image, that sounds like a cool title name, and I'm excited to check it out and see what we have going on here. So yeah, I will let you know how this is. And then I will be here for our day 18. So I will see you then. Let's talk about our day 17 album, which is an artist I've been looking forward to checking out for a long time, which is Shredded Nerve. And the album is Trojan Self-Image. And it came out in 2017 on Chondric Sound. This is a hard word for me to say, I apologize. Which is an excellent noise label. If you haven't heard anything off of Chondric Sound, you should totally check them out. If you like any kind of noise, any kind of just great textures, unique sound, a lot of passion and soul, stuff on this label is it. This is definitely one of the top noise labels, I would say. And people really love this artist and Shredded Nerve, and I know they have an album that came out this year that people are lauding, which is off the same label. And I need to check it out. I've heard one track from it, and yes, it is very fantastic. So I would suggest you check out that album, Shredded Nerve, this year. It should be on Bandcamp. But yeah, Shredded Nerve is an artist called Justin Lakes, and They seem to have a pretty good output and seem to be very talented, and this album is no exception. Like I said, the album is called Trojan Self-Image. So this is 2 tracks on this tape, but I think it's technically 6 tracks or something weird like that. Or maybe all the tracks are in different parts, because both tracks like change up like probably like 3 times during each track, or split up. So maybe it's like 6 tracks just put together. But either way, it's really interesting stuff. The first track has like a weird voice that just like kind of goes through it, and there's almost like a sound of like walking over gravel or pavement that comes through out like the first part of the track, which is really nice and pleasant to listen to and interesting. And of course, you have a bit of noise that's going. Like, all these tracks have like noise going on, but also these really interesting samples that I'm bringing up. There's like these really weird like growls and moans that like change up between the halfway point and just turns into like synth sounds. There's almost like a weird, and then the growls come back in, and there's almost like a laser sound in the background, like a futuristic laser gun, if that makes sense. Very interesting synths. And then the last part of the track, there's like a really chilling, like whispery synth and like whispery sample, and there's like the noise kind of lowers down to just like a fuzzy drone sound, and it's really interesting. And it is chilling, like it feels like walking on a windy day, and it's almost kind of creepy, but it's really nice to listen to. The second track starts out by being like, has a lot of like record popping sound, and it's really scratchy, and some of the tracks actually some of the noise actually kind of lightens up and sounds really bright. There's almost like a nice bright synth that comes through the middle, which is also really interesting. It definitely changes it up from noise to a more, I guess, happier sound, you could say. Yeah, it's like I said again, really interesting. And then this like really crunchy just noise loop of some actual vocal samples, almost like power electronic samples, like super buried in the background up here, which is also really interesting. And then I think the most interesting aspect of this album, or the second track, is throughout the rest of the track, which is a little bit more than halfway, there's like the sample of what sounds like someone slurping water through a cup, like really like slurping water, and then also sounds like they're spitting it back in to the cup with their mouth. It's really like weird, but in a really awesome way. And it's like totally like delayed too, so it's just like you can totally tell it's someone sampling them drinking water, but they make it like unique enough with some effects on it that you're like, what is going on? Totally adds a really weird dynamic to like the noise loop and the crunchy sounds, and then this part almost just like a noisy, fuzzy drone part going through it, while someone's just like drinking this water and spitting it back up, and then drinking the water and spitting it back up over and over. Yeah, I really like that. I really like creative noise, I guess, or creative samples. That's some of my favorite things in music, is just really fun creative samples or effects. That's what I love. And then you drown it out with a bunch of noise over it, which is fine, as long as you got those nice hot samples. So yeah, this was pretty good. Again, I wasn't like super duper blown away. I'll probably revisit this album, not like super much. Sometimes I know when an album, like I immediately want back into like my album rotation or like stuff I want to listen to. I usually like change up like my MP3 player constantly, like once a month, or just tons of stuff I want to like re-listen to and take notes and stuff on, and you know, just to enjoy when I go on walks. And I don't know if this is the type of album that would make that cut, maybe more listening to, but I mean, I say it's good, and this is definitely an artist to check out, Shred a Nerve, and definitely check out Chondric Sound. Yeah, and I'm super excited to listen to the Shred a Nerve record that came out this year, and I would highly, highly suggest you check it out too. And while you're there, I think the same label put out the new Allegory Chapel record too. I could be wrong, but look up Allegory Chapel on Bandcamp, because they put out a new album this year, and it's really amazing. So yeah, that is my opinion on Trojan Self-Image. So I will see you for the next video, so take care! more music to listen to. Said we got some good stuff. Very good dark ambient album, some decent noise. Yeah. So this is. Oh, I can't read right now. I'm just like staring at this and I can't read it. But there we go. The artist is Crawl Unit, and the album is called Everyone Gets What They Deserve. Alright, so again, this is one I have no idea about, and I like the name Crawl Unit, so I'm excited to check this out, like all the other albums, and hopefully it's some more good noise. Alright, so I will see you here for day 19. Let's talk about, I believe is our day 18 album. This is an artist called Crawl Unit, and the album is Everyone Gets What They Deserve. I couldn't find much about Crawl Unit in the small time I researched, of course. But I did come up with the name of Joe Coley, and they have a Bandcamp, and they text a lot of stuff under stuff like John Weiss and Flux, so I agree. Very interesting, very experimental stuff, and I just have to say that I think this album is probably the best out of this 5 bunch. Well, the Skin Crime one was wicked good too. So the Skin Crime one and this one has probably been the best so far. So yeah, like I said, this came out in 1999 on Crippled Intellect Productions, and that's not a label I know about, but I'm interested in checking out more. Apparently it's also a label based in Chicago, and stuff from Chicago is usually always amazing. So this actually isn't really so much a noise album as much as it's a drone album. This was pretty much purely a drone album, and a really good drone album. It starts off with this track called Holy Static, which is just basically kind of like a noisy, pleasant drone piece. A little bit on the borderline of like a warm drone-ish kind of track, something like Belong's October Language. Just like, it's noisy, it's feedbacky, but it's also got kind of a blissfully drone sound to it, which I really, really love that sound. Yeah, great opener, and I was like, that was an interesting drone piece with some noise on it. And then I was looking at the track list, and the next track is called Untitled Drone 2, and yes, it is in fact a pure drone piece. And kind of near the end of it, it almost has like a Time Machines, if you know Coil side product Time Machines, like type of drone sound in it, which I love that. Like, that's the kind of drone I love. Just super synth based, totally experimental, just melt your brain type of drone. And that's what this had. It wasn't too long, but it was near the end of this piece, and I really, really enjoyed it. And the track, I think the track, I can't read my own handwriting. I think it says artificially or artificially. It kind of sounds like a drone track, but someone's also stuck inside of a cage and they're rattling their cage and making a lot of noise, and I don't know. It's noisy, it's fun, it's good. I think my favorite track though is Going Extinct. I'm gonna play a clip for you. It's just a really good pure drone track with feedback and noise and textures, and it's definitely one that just, it slowly builds, and then it just gets louder and better and noisier, and you're just, by the time you even realize the change in sound, you're totally in it. You are drowning in this noise and drone, which I love. That's what you want. You want to be the total frog in the pot, boiled alive, but with drone scenario. And interesting too that most of these tracks, I believe there's about 6 or 7 tracks, they all change pretty much halfway through. Even some of them change, like the beginning part's different, the middle part's different, and I mean like completely different. One of the tracks just goes from like heavy noisy drone into like you're outside on a summer night, crickets playing, total like field recordings, and it's kind of amazing. It's like if you escape this drone chamber and now you just have like this ethereal, pleasant night. It's good. It's what you want in a noisy drone album. So yeah, this is one I would definitely say check out for yourself. This is my first album of Crawl Unit, and I want to check out more because I want to see what this artist can do more of, because I am very impressed with this one. So yes, Crawl Unit, everyone gets what they deserve. Alright, I'm back. We are here for day 19. And fun fact, 19 is my lucky number. So, let's see. I'm actually interested then to see what number 19 is. Oh, awesome! So this is Skin Crime with A Legacy of Blood for number 19. That is pretty cool, because Skin Crime is someone I've heard some stuff from, and just like skin graft, so I made this tweet where I wanted to get more into skin graft, but I confused it with Skin Crime, and then I just decided, everyone give me your best Skin Crime and skin graft suggestions, because I want to get into both of them, because they're both very respected and very excellent noise projects. And yeah, so someone suggested this one, A Legacy of Blood. So I'm going to check it out, and I'm looking forward to it. And just remind that the Skin Graft album I saw, the Skin Graft album I listened to, the John Weiss, was probably still like the best thing I've heard out of this whole calendar, next to the split, the Japanese split, which would explain a lot of stuff. I can't think what it's called. Resentment. Yeah, excellent stuff. So I'm hoping with the other stuff I've heard from Skin Crime that this will be just as good. So yeah, very cool thing to have on number 19. Yeah, so I will let you know how these albums are. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for our day 20. So we're going to talk about today's album, which is our day 19, which is Skin Crime's A Legacy of Blood. So, Skin Crime is a pretty well-beloved noise project. They've been called one of the greatest US noise projects by Dominic, who, if you don't know, is the artist of Purient and owns the Hospital Productions label. That this album is actually on right now. Actually, no. That is wrong. This album is actually on Self-Abuse Records, but Skin Crime is mostly on Hospital. Yes. So yeah, Legacy of Blood. This came out in 2019. This is one of the newer albums. Skin Crime was pretty active, I believe, in the 90s or early 2000s. And they took like a 12-year hiatus, and they've come back swinging. They're still making really good stuff. I haven't heard a lot of Skin Crime, but anything I've heard of them has always been really excellent. And it's kind of interesting, whenever I go to a noise show, that's a group that if you talk to people about music, that's one that comes up a lot. People really like to talk about Skin Crime very often. But anyway, yeah, so this album is surprisingly kind of just really a dark ambient album. It was really good. I enjoyed this. I'll probably be listening to this more, especially the second track. There's a quote on the tape that says, "Are you in the house alone?" And it definitely embodies like the creepy feelings and atmosphere that this tape has on it. So it's two 20-minute tracks, and it's kind of funny that I'm listening to this tape around Christmas time, because the tape kind of reminds me of like, I think of the movie Black Christmas when I listen to this, between like the sounds and that quote. Not so much, well, I guess the first track. The first track is kind of a straightforward noise, dark ambient track. It's good. It's nice. But the second track, it's really where I feel like the theme takes hold. Like this whole tape, you totally feel like you're just being like chased around this house or a long hallway, and that there's like a killer or a monster around any corner. It's creepy, it's eerie, so it'd be wicked corny to say. I mean, the second track has like Silent Hill vibes, if that makes sense. the atmosphere is thick and great, and it's genuinely creepy. It's really awesome. And the whole like second track, like it tells like a story. Like it starts out slow and quiet, and then basically it feels like you're being chased, and it's loud and pulsing. And then once it reaches its climax, a super noisy, grindy crescendo, the track kind of just quickly dies down with like very minimal, just like field recording sounds. It almost sounds like you're getting buried alive after being caught. Yeah, you definitely feel like it's totally got that like walking through abandoned factory that I love. That's like what I look for in this kind of music. Totally, totally, totally. Yeah, it's frightening, it's good, it's atmospheric, and it's skin crime. And I'd say totally check this out. This was really good. So yeah, this was Skin Crime, A Legacy of Blood. Hello. So, it is day 20 on this wonderful Sunday. My hair's messy, I actually just got out of the shower. Actually gotta get ready to go to bed soon, so I got work tomorrow. It's the end of the weekend, which is always sad, but kind of excited because it's a bit of a shorter week for me because of the holiday season, so that's something to look forward to, you know. Extra time to listen to noise. But yeah, so let's see what we have for our day 20. Yes, very, very exciting. Yes, and hopefully I'll be able to reuse this board for next year too. I'd love to do this every year for as long as my channel, you know, stay alive. So I hope to keep it alive as long as I can. I enjoy doing all this, making content. Okay, so day 20 is another split. And I think, I could be wrong, I think this is a Chinese artist. This might be a Japanese artist, but for some reason I feel like it's a Chinese artist, or they did an album sampling something in China. I could be going crazy. I apologize. But this is the artist Anemone Tube and another artist, Dissecting Table. So it's a split between Anemone Tube and Dissecting Table. And the album is called This Dismal World. And again, I apologize. I'll be able to look into more info of like who these are after I listen to the tape, because I usually have to go in completely blind. So yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to clear up who they are and what they do and how good or bad this tape was. But I do remember getting this from a zine, and I remember the zine really liked this tape, or the stuff at least Anemone, it's a hard word to say. Anemone Tube does is very unique, so I am looking forward to this. So yeah, Anemone Tube, Dissecting Table, This is Moon World. And then I'll see you tomorrow for our day 21. Hello! Alright, so our day 20 album. Really, really exciting to finish off this group of 5 albums. We had something pretty good, pretty interesting. I'll correct myself immediately. In the video where I pulled this album, I was wondering if Anemone Tube might have been Chinese or possibly Japanese, and I don't know why my brain had this confusion. Anemone Tube like has an album called, I think, Fear Over China or something, but no. Anemone Tube is a German artist project, one Steven Hanser, and it's Dissecting Table, that's another excellent Japanese artist. And so this is a split between Anemone Tube, Dissecting Table, and the split is called This Dismal World. So yeah, like I said, Anemone Tube is Stefan Hanser, and I hadn't heard of this project before, but I got excited to check this out because the zine that I gleaned this from really likes this project. Talks about how like different and unique and atmospheric it is, and yeah, this project definitely is atmospheric and has a lot of very, very interesting sounds and textures. This came out in 2013 on Peripheral Records. And Dissecting Table, like I said, is a Japanese artist. It goes by Ichiro Tsuji, and they actually own the UPD organization, which is a experimental record label that puts out a lot of very interesting stuff. So I would check that out. It's UPD organization. Just go on Discogs. So yeah, right away, there's 3 tracks. The first 2 are by Anemone Tube, and then there's one 20-minute track by Dissecting Table. And I do have to say the Dissecting Table one caught my interest a bit more. I do think it's super good. But the other 2 tracks were, like I said, very atmospheric and very interesting to listen to. The first track just hits you heavy right away, just wall of sound, just very atmospheric. I'm using that word a lot, I apologize. Just kind of drone-ish, dark ambient, just heavy feedback, and then at the end of the track it kind of has these like distilled female vocals that, again, you kind of sound like you're stuck in like a abandoned factory or a cave, and you hear these voices crying out to you all the way down. Near like the end of the hallway or the cave. Yeah, if that's probably the best way to describe this first track. You feel like you're in a cave, a very noisy cave, kind of like less more light. This, I would say, this track is. The second track, which is called From Anthropocentrism to Demonocentrism, it has this like synth that it starts out with. It almost sounds like a demonic growl. It's so like guttural and strong. It was really, really cool to listen to. It kind of stays throughout the whole track, and it makes it really sound unique. And I enjoyed it. Again, it's another just kind of droney, heavy sounded, dark ambient track. Lots of buzzy feedback, and just has some interesting synths, including that like kind of demonically growling one. It was really cool. I would definitely suggest that track a lot. And then the Dissecting Table track, the 1,000 Tones, has this like rhythmic chanting like sample that goes throughout the whole entire track, with lots of like metal clashing. It definitely has a lot of that organic Japanese like industrial sound, where it's like a literal industrial sound, something like test step, where they're banging on metal, and any kind of organic sound they can create. It's really, really good. And it's, like I said, in the background you have this like creepy chant going on, and then from time to time the synth in the background is just like growing and getting louder and louder, and then like the mix just gets really, really messy near the end. It all just kind of collides together, but it's in a good way. It sounds really messy, but in the best way possible. Yeah, it's definitely a 20-minute track that's worth all the build up. It's very satisfying to listen to. Yeah, so that is pretty much what I have to say about it. Unless you want to hear me use the word atmospheric 20 more times, I apologize for that. So yeah, like I said, Anemone 2, Dissecting Table Split, This Is World. I would definitely suggest it, especially if you like, you know, dark ambient, on the heavier side, noisy, kind of, I'd say if you're more into like the Italian death industrial kind of sound, I would suggest this one. It's not quite that. It doesn't have the power electronic vocals to it, but it kind of has that same atmosphere and vibe. There's that word again. But so yes, I will see you next time, and we will talk about the next album. So take care. Bye-bye.